Well, hello everyone, welcome to the channel. Now, if you've been following along, you know I've spent a few videos here putting in wood trim in the cockpit. And in this video, I'm finally going to get it all varnished. But before I can get it varnished, got to do the prep work. So that's going to start off with plugging some of the screw holes, and then the funner part of sanding it all. Alright, so here's an update of everything after it's been sanded. And with 120, I took all the tape off. So this is what we're left with over here. And here's the main bulkhead side over here. So I'm going to be varnishing these. I decided to varnish the door, just the outside area, the door trim. I won't be varnishing the door sill. That's Ipe. I might just leave it, or I might just put oil on it or something, I don't know. But I'll be varnishing all this right here, all the way up. I won't be doing the inside portion. Well, I'll do around this corner here, but I'm not going to do this part because I still have to put door lock in and hinges and things like that, and I also need to add a piece of trim on the inside as well, and that's not going to be varnished with this kind of varnish, so I'll just leave that for later and do that later. And I'll be doing this part here, which you saw me sanding. So next step is to retape everything, clean it, and put on the primer. Everything's taped up, wiped down, and ready to be primered. Alright, so as you guys check out this primer coat, I'll just let you know that I didn't film any of the varnishing. I spare you guys that. It was only the same thing 7 more times. But I do give an update after the 3rd coat, and then I'll go over some of the issues I usually encounter and how I handle them. And then we'll just get to the final result. Alright guys, well it's time for an update. What you're looking at behind me is the 3rd coat of varnish. Tonight what I'm going to do is take this tape off that's on here now, retape it, and then put a 4th coat on, and then I'll be repeating it tomorrow. What my schedule has been is get here in the morning and sand the previous varnish, put on a coat at lunchtime, come back after work and put on a 2nd coat, and then repeat it the next day. So we're on number 3. I'm going to be doing number 4 now, so I'll be doing all this same thing tomorrow, and then 1 more day after that, and then we should be done with it. So hopefully it all goes well. A lot of times when you put 3 coats of varnish on there, it's going to build up in the corners. You're going to try to pull the tape off and it's going to rip. So what I do, I try to pull it off, and if I see that it's starting to rip, what I do is I take this X-Acto knife, like a really sharp one, and just score right on between the tape and the varnished area. And I don't try to go into the tape, I don't try to cut the tape off, I just try to score the actual varnish that's built up there, like down to the tape, and then I'm hoping it's usually would pull off, and most of the time it does. I still get areas where it tries to pull the varnish right off with it, especially if it's not dry yet. I had a few of those happen here tonight. So what I do there, since I'm only on the 3rd coat of varnish, I just kind of still use the same X-Acto blade and just kind of scrape at it and kind of clean it up. So when I do the next coat of varnish, it's not going to be sitting on like a piece of varnish that's like just pulled up like that and not attached to the wood. So I try to scrape that little piece that's sticking up off, flatten it out, and the next coat will cover it over. Okay, so it's a Friday. I actually took the day off because I want to get this last coat of varnish on today. But what you're looking at are coats 5 and 6. Did those yesterday, and today I'll be sanding this down, retaping it, and doing hopefully which will be the final coat. Coat 7. I'm not going to do 8 coats. I like to sand before the last coat, and it's just not working out that way. I've done 7 sometimes I do 8. It all depends on how the coats went and how I sanded along the way. But anyways, pretty happy with it so far. Alright, so I'm going to take a little break from my sanding. I've only been sanding for 10 minutes, but and just show you this area here. Now this is probably the most difficult thing to sand just because of the grain in it. And this particular piece actually is worse than the other one, just because it has this kind of, you know, weird grain over here, which I kind of like. Maybe, I don't know if the camera's picking any of this up, but there are still some shiny spots here where the grain is, mostly on these lines right here, these grain lines. But I'm not going to go any further with this. I'm just going to live with those grain marks because they're deep enough that I could probably put another 8 coats on here to get this thing like perfectly gloss smooth. And I'm not going to go that far with this thing. It's not worth it for me. I mean, I'm going to be varnishing this probably many times in the future, and it'll just get filled in more and more every time. And I just wanted to show also the brushes I'm using, because I don't think I showed it. I use different brushes every time because I never can find the same ones, or they change them or whatever. Now, this time I'm going with these. The name isn't important, but they're China bristle. These had a really long handle on them, like they always do, all these things. It comes out to about here. I just cut them all off because I can't even get up in here. Even with this brush, it's difficult to get up here on the top. Like when I took these off, there wasn't even any varnish on the top because nobody could ever varnish up there. So anyways, I'm getting enough on there to do what I have to do, but it's not, I can feel it's not perfect either. I'm gonna keep sanding, and then I'll varnish it, and we'll see how it looks. Okay, well, this is the moment you've been watching for. Thanks for watching. Take care. Bye for now, and we'll see you soon.